Here we go, mates. The Dragoon is once again tailed by a hostile oppressor.
Oh shit.
This griefer now circles around and maniacally swoops in for the kill, but gets denied by a decimating sniping counter. Crikey. It's high noon, and there's a new pretentious sheriff in town. Yeehaw! Freedom and fireflies in the air. I don't know why I said that. Patience, Dragoon. Wait for right time. Duh, I understand that back in Halo, you're always eager to put enemy pilots out of commission. But anticipate for right moment. Harosh, comrade. Listen, when it comes to shooting Ruski airplane like Molotov, we have saying, you keep what you kill. Or was that just from movie Riddick? I'm not certain anymore, but one thing is for sure.
Dragoon Toby is gonna bring it.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to another gaming session. Today I'll be taking you on a voyage throughout my complete GTA journey. Now folks, it has been more than 4 months here since the start of the quarantine lockdown, so if you're as anxious as I am to escape the indoor life, even just in the virtual sense, to a world full of action and adventure where you can do just about anything like Ryan Reynolds in that recent Free Guy movie, then feel free to give GTA a shot. Now, even though the game was launched back in 2013, I only got a copy of this when I heard it was free at the Epic Store last May. So here we go, starting off with character personalization. Just a background story, y'all. The first GTA game I've played was San Andreas. This was way back when I was in high school, during a time I was eager to wear hip-hop clothes after watching Eminem in 8 Mile. Got hyped to be part of the hood and went around saying, "Hey, what's up, homies? This is my legit style now. Know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing gonna change that, dawg." Until K-pop and anime became a trend a few years later, but eventually settled down for a more sporty look to go with my travel adventures. What was my point here? Oh yeah, in GTA you can customize your character to fit your style however you want it to be. Moving on, let's get straight to some action. The first set of missions I've played was in Last Team Standing. This served as my training grounds, a sort of immersion for me to practice on tactically handling different engagements. I shifted afterwards to full-on vehicle warfare, wrecking enemy tanks with one of my own. Then shortly after I got to pilot a jet for the first time, but being a level 13 on my first day of GTA, I did struggle to maneuver it, and knew I can't always depend on winning by a fluke, so if I ever aimed on becoming an ace pilot like Maverick on Top Gun, I had to stop being a noob and start getting geared. So right after the match, I devoted some time into flight school. I messed up a couple of times, but thank goodness this is GTA and the chopper rotors didn't break apart with that collision. Yes, I gotta admit I'm having a slow curve on this, y'all, but we're not gonna let that stop us on committing to get better, cause faux shizzle, there will come a time where my whole team will rely on me and I wanna be able to deliver. #reliable. Speaking of handling vehicles, peeps, in my quest to be holistically versatile, I joined in a few different races as well, including off-road driving through steep, slippery terrain. Also practiced how I would fare at sea. You know, I've always wanted to do jet ski racing in real life. But folks, this is probably the coolest one I've found, stunt races. Launching Mr. Bean's car off a turbo-inducing ramp followed by a backflip seemed appropriate, as the absurdity correlates to how Mr. Bean typically drives his Mini Cooper in a wacky manner. Okay, now that I've familiarized myself a bit on how to travel around, it was time to do some exploration. Tobias the Explorer was now set on circling around the open world, grabbing all sorts of treasures and collectibles that he can find, from awkwardly picking up playing cards to religiously accumulating 100 action figures. That was indeed super tedious, like 100%. Heck, I even had to go through tracking and hunting down a cannibal serial killer to claim his collectible revolver. Now folks, it's GTA, so I can't really say that I've made Los Santos and Blaine County a safer place after that, but at least I can now take the role as a self-proclaimed avenger of the oppressed and say, it's high noon. Moving on folks, it's time for business. Can't believe I'm gonna say this, but GTA has actually taught me a thing or two on incorporating some entrepreneurial skills, particularly on the aspects of investment and logistics. So let's get down to business. First on the list is vehicle cargoes. I source out different types of cars and deliver them to a warehouse where it's going to be repaired and pimped out to sell to a buyer. Sounds simple enough, but the real challenge here is delivering the car to the designated location, as any player in the lobby session can sabotage your ride. So I gotta hit the gas and aggressively drive like a fast and furious stuntman every time, hoping I can make it to the drop-off without a scratch. The top range cars nets a potential 80k profit, so I did a ton of these and used all my earnings to invest in the gun running business, which has pretty much the same setup, deliver shipment to the drop off, except there's a much higher potential cash reward in this, depending on how much supplies you've manufactured. Now the hostile NPCs thrown at me during the course of the mission, that I can handle with ease, but when faced with players tailing me with their oppressors, well, that's another story. Being the clueless noob that I am, in my first few shipping runs, I had no idea you could temporarily keep yourself off the grid with a ghost organization ability, so I was prone to being a prime target for griefers. Pretty sure that one resorted to hacks afterwards though, because I've never seen an oppressor spam a rocket barrage before, and it was at that moment I knew I was a goner. But that's the chaotic world of GTA, folks. I've learned the hard way to always be on your toes when doing open world missions. Actually, scratch that, even just in free roam, you'll look back and suddenly an aircraft has launched missiles at you. Just when I was about to counterattack, my laptop froze. Aw, hell no! So the time it took me to reboot the game made me realize and reflect on two things. One, I really need to upgrade my gaming rig, and two, that I need to take some action against griefers, because as the saying goes, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Am I right or what? But one huge challenge of being in a Deluxo was that I had to constantly worry about dodging homing missiles, as I'm not equipped with any countermeasures. Since homing missiles don't lock onto players on foot, it'll take a bit more time to manually adjust the crosshairs to direct those missiles on the target. So I thought, hey, this could be a suitable window of opportunity, and now I'm talking about sniping those pesky oppressors on foot. But of course, that's easier said than done. To my surprise, there's bullet travel in GTA, so I had to hone my sniping skills and do some trading first. When someone sniped me shortly after landing on a yacht, it was a chance for me to practice sniping and moving targets under the act of justified retaliation. And I also wanted to practice taking vertical motion into account, so when the pilot strangely parachuted down, I took the opportunity to snipe him. Alright, I think this young Padawan is now somewhat ready, peeps. Let's go hunt down some oppressors. Thankfully, now that I'm sniping on foot, I don't even have to worry about their countermeasures, so I can just focus on landing that shot. But high-level players still prove to be a challenge, since some take at least 2 sniper rifle hits to bring down. Like, come on, is this guy wearing Juggernaut armor? So I had to maintain my composure. Now, the most satisfying shot I've achieved was against a griefer that reached psycho status for killing too many players, so it kind of felt like securing a huge bounty when I took him down. Okay, here we go, it's time to step it up and bring down military aircraft, y'all. At the start, all I had were standard rounds, but that took forever to blow up jets. With the help of science, down at the bunker, I finally unlocked these full metal jacket rounds, and I was quite impressed that each shot now has a noticeable impact in breaching through the aircraft's hull. Now I thought that was powerful, but apparently there's something even more devastating than FMJ bullets. I had to go through over 50 research upgrades to finally unlock the OP explosive rounds. So here I was, peacefully roaming around town, and I just had a feeling this trigger-happy jet would pursue and unjustly destroy my ride. So I thought, being a passive goody two-shoes is exactly how Ned Stark got unjustly killed, y'all. It was time to take a stand like Jon Snow and fight back. This time around, I was fully armed to the teeth with Valerian anti-griefer retribution rounds. Tice Dragonglass, you flying White Walker bastards. Funny story though, before I unlocked explosive rounds, out of sheer desperation, I used to manually plant sticky bombs at a player killer's chopper and just shot them upon liftoff to create that effect. But I just want to say, having the real thing, folks, really does aid a ton in blasting those fast-moving griefers. However, I still believe it's another level of fulfillment when you're able to precisely snipe the pilot itself from the aircraft. Alright, so that's enough of the free roam sniping montage. Next up, did you ever want to feel like Mad Max in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with weaponized raider vehicles but minus the wasteland part? Well, Arena War is the closest thing for that. Oh no, I'm sounding like a promoter. Anyways, played a few games including Buzzer Beater, Last Man Standing match where your bikes are rigged with explosives, and Detonate if you don't hit enough checkpoints on time. Strangely enough, I still got blown up despite being the last one left. Those treacherous, sneaky game masters with their rig ride. Okay, so my personal favorite mode is GTA Rocket League. Handling the bomb ball took some getting used to, but it does feel good every time you score a goal. I quickly adapt to different roles like disabling the enemy's goalkeeper, for example, so my teammates can effortlessly score. Teamwork does make the dream work here, but as fun as it is to win, the reward system in Arena War is kinda buggy, so sometimes you don't get paid. Unable to get my ROI from Arena War, I was broke again, like for reals, and recognized that I really had to start obtaining worthwhile payouts and finally invest in performing heists. Now, the first time I knew about it was when I impulsively joined in someone's heist setup mission. However, the ones with the real cash payout are the heist finales, and I found out the hard way that these missions are not only challenging but require both proper communication and an utmost level of teamwork. Truth is, the only heist finale I was able to complete with randoms was Prison Break. Glad I was finally able to put my flight school training to use. So, after rescuing what looks like GTA's Heisenberg, a sense of relief became evident in my character's face, knowing he was about to finally complete his first heist. But that was the first of many. It was time to set my sights higher, and the next big score was the Humane Labs raid. This time, I needed a solid, reliable crew, and I just want to give one massive thank you to my good friend Adib for helping me with a couple of heists. Now folks, if there's one thing I've enjoyed about these types of action-centric heists, it's that the layout of the different challenges and obstacles thrown at you truly makes you feel like being immersed in a role of a special agent, like in one of those Mission Impossible movies. So I feel a sense of accomplishment whenever I finish one. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to our pilot Shohan for safely securing the completion of the Humane Labs finale. Nicely done. Okay, so while that was an awesome mission, the payout wasn't really that high, therefore I had to move on to an elaborate money heist, securing the valuables inside a vault. I did this a second time using the big con approach, and getting in the vault was surprisingly a breeze. But the first time I immersed in this was via the silent and sneaky approach, and let me tell you, doing the entire heist in complete stealth from start to end was quite challenging. You had to be cautious and surgical in everything you do. Kinda reminded me of those old times I played Payday 2. So, shout out to Robin for helping me complete this heist. Thanks a ton, mate. Now the moment has come for my final and most challenging heist. One last score before I throw in the heisting towel. Let's get straight into the Doomsday event. Without a doubt, the most action-packed, high-intensity heist series I've seen in the game, gunning down enemy jets while escaping with the Avenger. Then you've also got those cinematic turning point cutscenes in a submarine. I noticed that Ruskies in video games always stereotypically depicted to be up to something suspicious. Why is that, comrades? Okay, so we're closing in on the third and final act of the heist, breaching a secret bunker, then hacking through the server's database while holding off an endless swarm of skilled, presumably AI-controlled mercenaries. Hell nah, what is this? First encounter assault recon? Now, because this is my first time run on the Doomsday finale, my crewmate instructed me on where to find optimal defensive positions.
If you stay here, it's gonna be okay. Just
They've been playing GTA for years, so I consider myself blessed that I was fighting alongside veterans in clearing the mission finale. So it boils down to this, folks, the climactic moment in the story, equipped with a jetpack as well as the unwavering determination to finish the job. I focused my sights on the enemy boss, and after a few well-placed rockets, finally landed that killing blow to literally end the mission with a bang. Disembarked from the jetpacks, then went on for the debrief. I want to thank Robin and Horcrux for the colossal amount of help in finishing this final heist. Glad to have a Robin Hood and a GTA Cirilla on the team. Honestly, my role was really just a dandelion providing entertainment support.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, 'cause Toby needs money, oh.
oh, yes, it is good. So you can see now I'm sounding really good.
So that's it. My life as a GTA special agent was now behind me. I wanted to spend the rest of my time doing carefree, leisure exploration, like diving through the depths of the sea and finding a submerged UFO, which I really wanted to pilot. Oh, and I also bought a hangar at Fort Zancudo so I could finally purchase and store some personal aircraft. Despite its hefty price, still considered it a good investment as I get clearance to a military airbase and pilot a $6.5 million laser jet whenever. I took my sightseeing adventures to the skies by cruising around a glider, admiring the scenic views. Now would be a time to equip a GoPro, divert all attention and focus into saying, "What's up guys?" and then crashing negligently in the process. Yeah, I think that would make it go viral. The next thing I got in possession was the penthouse at the Diamond Casino, which seemed like a perfect place to retire. Oh my goodness, I sound like a boomer. What I meant was a perfect place to partay, celebrate, and pat myself on the back for having an awesome journey so far. Because it's a casino, of course I wanted to check out what they had to offer, so I tried my luck at 3-card poker, landing a 3-of-a-kind card combo. Gave roulette a shot, and surprisingly, after winning twice as much chips, my character didn't show any emotion. Practicing poker face to not get mugged later on. I see. Now, my biggest win was at Blackjack. Started with a 20, split my cards, one hand then became a Blackjack, the other piled up to 21, both defeating the dealer's hand. Aw yeah! JK guys, my greatest win at the casino was actually from the Lucky Wheel, where I was fortunate enough to obtain a scramjet. For sure, I pimped it out to look like Speed Racer's car, and I think it deserved to be rocket boosted off a ramp while attempting to create my own stunt jump, adding a little 360 spin at the end. So what's next? We're venturing into sports, cause now that I'm in early retirement, I still want to maintain my fitness. Whether rain or shine, doesn't matter, I do not want to get a dad bod, know what I'm saying? After trying out golf, delivered a can of whoop-ass with that backhand at tennis, and of course I can't leave GTA before testing my strength at arm wrestling. I once encountered a hipster-looking opponent and he almost won, so I button mashed the hell out of my keyboard so I could wipe that overconfident smug off his face. Righteously extreme flex of dominance, bruh. Uh-oh, now I sound like I'm the douchebag. Moving on to the extreme gnarly sports, it's time for some parachuting. Because I never had the chance to skydive in real life, at least I get the opportunity to virtually experience it here in GTA. The landing options were funny and fascinating though, from the embarrassing face plants to the uber badass somersault forward roll. For the last one of the bucket list, we're going for what I think is the hardest time trial. Now, I've always enjoyed seeing those Red Bull videos of pro mountain bikers blazing downhill. So I thought, I'm not a dreamer, but a doer. Not a quitter, but a fighter. I've gotta accomplish this, even just in GTA, no matter how long it takes. And that self-pep talk really kept me going, cause I've brutally crashed my bike on countless occasions, y'all. Now, I've done time trials before. In my first one, I've beaten the part time with milliseconds to spare. The second time around, I got thrown off zillions of times, and when my character finally reached the finish line, he literally looked like Prince Zuko from Avatar. So you can imagine the struggle of picking up my motorbike every single time at Mount Chiliad and ascending back up the summit to give it another go. Damn, it sure was a test of willpower and commitment, but if it's any consolation, at least I can have a look at the sunset from the top, as distorted as it looks on my laptop. Alright, here we go. It's the middle of the bloody freezing night, and through some miraculous stroke of luck, my character was able to zoom past unhindered through those trees, an all-or-nothing risky maneuver that paved a clear way for me to reach the finish line in time. I was so elated to finally scratch that event off the bucket list, folks. Without a doubt, the hardest time trial I've encountered. Had to finally settle down and head back to my penthouse personal bar, as achieving that milestone definitely calls for a celebratory drink. And the best part of being at the penthouse is that if you do get wasted, even surprisingly from just a single whiskey shot, your personal quarters is literally in the same area. Alrighty, think I've dived into pretty much all the aspects of my GTA journey. There's not much left to do at the casino, unless they want me to do hosting events there. Yay! Now, I'd call it a pretty decent run on my sojourn here at Los Santos, but now is the time to lift off and move on, thus concluding my lengthy GTA journey. So thank you all for watching. I'm a warp out of GTA, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace out.